Hi, I'm Jessie Hempel from Wired, coming to you from Davos with Paul Doherty, the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at Accenture, and will.i.am, a tech entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist, and the front man for the Black Eyed Peas. And these guys, they've been talking about technology together for, gosh, close to 4 years. Today, we're going to join that conversation. Will, I want to hear what you find exciting about artificial intelligence. Where are we with it?
Artificial intelligence to me is a great way for creative people to build and imagine tomorrow. You know, if you're like hypnotized and conditioned by movies, then artificial intelligence is a scary thing.
Right.
But if you're a creator, artificial intelligence is an amazing tool to bring about a better world and make people be, better humans.
Where are we in the emergence of artificial intelligence? As in, what are my kids going to look back and think of 2018?
So, when I was a kid, let's say 1980, when I look back at 1980, I think of Atari, I think of Pac-Man, I think of Apple IICs, and because of that, I love my Mac, I love video games, and if you're a kid that was born in 2000 and iPads, you're iPad native. If you go to a TV, it's broken because you can't swipe it. If you go to a magazine, it's broken.
Right.
If you were born 2 years ago, and now you're speaking, you're talking to Alexa in the home.
Right.
So there's like voice natives, where you talk to devices.
Yep.
And I think where we're going to go is people are going, if you're, in the future, you're going to be talking to all these types of machines. It's a exciting time if you're creative, like I said, and I'm optimistic. I'm not afraid of it. And more importantly, I think it's an amazing time for folks that are left behind. The folks that are in Africa, South America. If you teach a 9-year-old starting today, computer science and artificial intelligence, they will solve problems that their parents were living through because we haven't solved their problems for them. But if you give them the tools now, new jobs and problems that we've ignored for years, that's the reason why I really love this tool. It's a tool.
So I want to pick up on this idea of optimism. Now, Paul, you're pretty optimistic about AI as well, right?
Yeah, and just playing off what you just said, Will, we talk about the fact that humans plus machines, being AI and robotics, really, it's humans plus machines give people superpowers. It's like what you were saying, Will. It's a tool for people to do things differently. So that's really our belief about technology, and so we're optimistic about it as well, because this is about how we empower people to do different things, and how we empower consumers to live their lives differently, and empower workers to work more effectively using technology. Yeah.
So you've got a company that explores AI. Tell us a little bit about it.
So IM Plus, we've pivoted. We've made products in the past, and we realized that our product was the platform that powered the hardware. And that platform is artificial intelligence voice operating system. Mm-hmm. And right now it's being used in Austria by Deutsche Telekom to replace their call centers for customer service. But not replacing jobs, because now folks in the call center can utilize our AI right alongside how they traditionally would go about handling the customers' concerns or upgrading their plans, and our system augments that and helps them do it quicker and better.
So Will, it's the moment for voice. Voice is everywhere around us all of a sudden. What do you think so far we're missing about doing voice right? So
voice right now is not contextual. Most of the things that you buy that are in your house, I don't want to name the products' names, but they're not contextual. They don't know who you are. They can't cross domains. For example, if I say play music, it can't go across and find out information about what I'm listening to. Can't You know, if I say, hey, play a song by X artist, when's the next show? Book me a ticket, put it on my calendar, and find sushi restaurants around there. That's 5 different domains. So they're built like iPhones, where apps don't talk to apps. Yeah. So right now, these voice systems that are in the world right now are early PDAs. They're, you know, smartphones that were trying to mimic the laptop and desktop, and then the iPhone came.
Yeah, I don't know if you agree with this, Will, but what I've been saying is I think voice will transform the way we interact digitally more so than the smartphone. We thought the smartphone was amazing. We got this thing with these buttons and tiles for apps, but I think voice is going to be even more transformative because that's how we communicate. You know, AI through voice and natural language is giving us the ability to communicate with machines like we communicate with people, which means we can be more productive, more effective, and have more human-like interaction. Is that the way?
And that's yeah, that's our core ingredient is natural language understanding, natural language processing, to be able to, you know, hop between domains and save time just by having a conversation and getting things done.
You know, and the real opportunity becomes the interaction between the computer and the human and getting that interaction right. Now, I know, Paul, you've been working on a book this year that'll be out on some of those topics. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, just to tell you a little bit about it. The title of the book is Human Plus Machine, Reimagining Work in the Age of AI. So it's human plus the machine, and it's talking about how work changes through AI. It's a lot of the technology that Will's been talking about. And what we're getting into is the fact that we believe that there's a new set of skills and a new way to organize work and how we engage with people in the age of AI, and that we have to really think about how we give people the right skills in this new world. We identify some new skills, like one interesting one, just in the context of what we're talking about, is a new skill we call rehumanizing time. Rehumanizing time, which is about how does a person use a tool to make their life more human and give them back more time to do more human things versus the drudgery of trying to type with their thumbs on a phone and get information. So that's what we're focused on in the book, is how do we, a guide for leaders to understand how to apply AI in that way to rethink what they do.
Yeah, and systems today aren't prompt. An AI is not going to call you on the phone. So we have, our platform has the capability of contacting call centers or ordering, for example, I want to book a reservation for a restaurant. Yeah. And it'll go through the dialogue, how many people, what time, blah, 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 blah. And then our system will then get on telephone and I'm saying too much, but talk to a human and do that for them. I think my company is going to get mad because I shouldn't have said that.
That's okay. That's okay.
We've got some unique insight there. One of the things that's been interesting to me, one of the first things, when we first had our first conversation that really captivated me and led to some of our conversations was your concept around data and personal ownership of data, and you used a term called iDatity, I-data-T, which I just thought was a fantastic encapsulation of this whole debate we're having around privacy and what our rights are as people. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that led you, how did that connect to Omega and what you're doing around
so
AI?
Right now, companies are super huge off the backs of giving you a product for free in the name of convenience. Yeah. And in exchange for keeping all your data and then leveraging that data and selling it to other companies just so they can market to you. And then we go online and we hate the commercials. We don't pay attention to them under the notion that products are being sold because of it. Okay. And the only people that aren't benefiting from data are people. And so, and at the same time, we're afraid of identity theft. Our ID, credit card, when in the world of data is currency, actually, there's something else that's being taken from me. And I'm not educated on how powerful that data is. How can you empower people with their data by marrying identity and data to create iDatity, and then they would need some type of artificial intelligence to source that data for them. And that's the reason why I believe, like, if Steve Jobs created a personal computer back in the idea of a personal computer, IBM was like, who in the hell would need a computer? We have the same argument, personal AI for personal data.
So a lot of that speaks to people feeling like they have control over their information, which means that they need to understand that they are information in the first place.
Yes, and education plays the education gap, not educating our not educating people, the youth, and all the while just treating folks like consumers and users instead of the ingredients to have an amazing system.
Do you, Paul, feel like we're starting to catch up on that front? I mean, you've been talking about this now, Will, for a while now, a couple of years.
I think there's a lot of room to go. I think that's the right vision of the future. This idea that we've lost control of our information, that that information's out there in clouds where others are monetizing it without us knowing what's happening. I don't think that's sustainable long term. I think we're going to see a lot of changes in those models. I think what we're seeing is a dialogue we're having here in Davos this week around digital identity and using things like blockchain to pull information back to people and give people the keys to their information so that, you can choose to let people perform services for you, but you control it. I think that's at the heart of what Will's been talking about in Will's vision, and we're seeing the seeds of those tools and that future now, but it's still going to take some work.
So when you look forward and you look at where we're going with these tools, what do you want people to know now so that they can better prepare for that future?
The optimist that I am, the future is wonderful, and AI is going to help us see ourselves differently, the way that we always should have seen ourselves. So if you were living in the dark ages, you didn't know you were living in the dark ages till the next age came around and called that the dark age. So, why don't we realize that we are living in an inhumane age? Look at how we treat each other. Look at how we still don't appreciate people's differences, how we treat women, how we treat people of color. And where we're going, we're making something that would think, would give you the illusion that it's thinking. So, to scour and process all that data and give us answers that we couldn't do ourselves, was only going to make us realize the humanity within ourselves. Because a machine will never have a heart. A machine cannot love. And I hope that this new human age would help us be better humans.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Piloting to a future where we can all embrace our best humans.
Yeah, and Will just said it beautifully. But I think I talked before about the fact I think with this human plus machine age, we're moving into an age not where machines have to take control. It's about how we design this future and what decisions we make as leaders. I think we're moving into an age of human empowerment where just like every technology since the first axe or whatever, Arrowhead, we ground as human beings, we use technology to help ourselves. I think it's the same with this technology, and I think Will just laid it out beautifully about how this can really empower us to be more human.
You know what's crazy too? Think about it. No matter how much money you have, I can't go out and purchase a stealth bomber. I can't fly one. I can get a license. I can't drive. I can't fly one.
Nope.
Because there's rules and regulations to that. Right? So when the car was made, there weren't roads first. So if you see pictures of New York, when the car just hit the street, people were walking in the streets with the car. There was no lanes. There was no, stop lights. And when the rules were put in place, you had to be a certain age to have a license to drive. You have to have a certain amount of hours before you're a licensed pilot. Right. So here we are, 2018. My company created AI. In the future, you're going to have a license to do that.
That's a profound thought.
Right?
Yeah,
so there's going to be rules and regulations on what the AI is supposed to do and cannot do, and parameters around that. And that's the reason why I have hope, because right now we can't even imagine the parameters.
Right.
Just like you couldn't imagine the roads and the speed limits in that when you're driving that car, and then governors on how fast the car can or cannot go. So the same thing, that same process of guidelines will be for AI. And
so, Will, Paul, empowering us to a future that embraces our humanity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Will.